What's up, tubers? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, still breaking her down. That's right, still bringing down Grand Lake. That's what we're going to cover tonight. We're going to do our third offshore hotspots video. If you've missed any of the videos prior to this for Grand Lake, make sure to go check out the Lake Breakdown playlist. We did 5 Google Earth videos, and I think we're going to do 3 or 4 offshore hotspots video. In fact, I know we're at least going to do 4. We may even have to do 5 on the offshore hotspots too. This lake's got all kinds of good stuff to explore, to look at. Let's go check it out. Bam! Here we are back on Grand Lake of the Cherokees doing our third offshore lake breakdown, I guess, for Grand Lake of the Cherokees. Hopefully I can get this one about halfway down this west side today if we're lucky, and then we'll finish it up with the 4th video. We'll see what we can get done. But if you missed any of the previous videos, we actually started down here at the dam and worked our way all the way up this east side, all the way to the very tip, and now we're going to work our way down the west side all the way back down to the dam as well. And we're really focused on the offshore stuff. So based on contours, some really high percentage areas that we believe you guys should be able to locate some bass in. So let's go ahead and jump into this, and let's start up here at the top, right here by Wilson Point. We'll start there and then we'll start working our way down. There's actually 2 different little spots here. I actually like both of these points. Just love how they set up right here on the creek channel swing. You know those are going to be pretty good, especially, actually I can't even say, I mean, this one could be really good, but this one could be good too. So I have no idea which one's going to be the best one, but definitely take a look at that. And then you've got some pretty good breaks over here too off of this flat. So it's not necessarily an offshore type spot, but notice how big of a flat you have up here. This could be a pretty decent little area to go check out at certain times of the year. All right, let's go on down, and as we did on the previous videos, these channel swings, right, these river channel swings are huge, and definitely a good place to find lots and lots of fish. So let's talk about this up here first. This is kind of off the beaten path a little bit. It's not as obvious as this one down here, but you can tell here we got a pretty good little hump going on right here with a decent little break to the outside edge of it that's fairly close to that river channel. Then the river channel comes down, it hits this bank line right here where this bluff line is. And this may have been something we brought in from somewhere else. I'm not sure where we got 2 points here, but you'll hear me talk about it a lot. But finding those spots where it's, you know, right where it starts to get deep, like right before it starts to get deep, right, say in this area. Also, the other thing that I really like about these 2 little spots is it, notice here it says that there's some flooded timber. So there could be some pretty good stuff right in here, you know, where they could stage up and just let that food come right down to them. We're going to keep going down. Didn't see much in the back of these pockets, but obviously these little points here, these are definitely going to be good points to fish around. And, you know, you want to fish this whole thing right here. And you'll also want to fish, you know, definitely fish that whole area right in there as well. We're going to move on down, and basically what we're going to do is we're just going to hit those points, right? There's another point. There's 2 more points there. This one I liked better than this one, so I marked it, but really I'm going to fish both of them. But again, you see here where we've got flooded timber back on this point. This point's fairly shallow, about 8 foot all the way into here before it really starts to break down, but definitely could be a good little spot to look at. Let's keep moving down, see if we can make some good progress here. We're going to go on down again where that river channel swing is, and right before it starts to get super deep, you're going to work right around that little transition area right in there. That's going to be a really good spot. Another one of those main lake river channel swing points. So you're going to want to look at both sides of those points in there. I'll zoom in here real quick, and I probably could have marked all of these. You know, you could have looked at this one. That one doesn't really look like much of a point. It looks like it kind of goes on. I don't know what, that was pretty interesting. This one doesn't have much of a point either, but these 2 down here, or this point down here, definitely does. And I'm not sure why I'm getting multiple points here, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that and get rid of that thing. All right, so let's keep going on down. And we're going to move on down here. This is going to be the same thing, right? This is right where that river channel starts to peel off. So when it starts to peel off, it's where you kind of get a little bit of transition. And what's interesting here is you also have this little flat top. Now let's see how deep that is. About 25 foot, so that's got some pretty good depth to it, but I would definitely fish right up in here, right on the edge, right where kind of this point is, right in here. And then, you know, you may want to slide over here. I can't even talk today. You may want to slide over here and just see if there's anything here, because you've got a heck of a good ledge going on right there. It just, that little flat tops out in, say, 20-something foot of water. All right, so we're going to keep staying on this west side. And again, if you missed the other videos, just go and look at our lake breakdown playlist, and you'll see all these, all the videos of us covering all this stuff on the east side. I'm going to keep moving on down, and we're going to get down here to this point. This point looks super juicy. It just has this nice little Hickory Creek, has this nice creek coming right over the edge of it. Love how that sets up. Definitely, you know, good main lake point as well. That one's going to be a good one to look at. You got some interesting stuff back in here. You've got some pretty big flats that are close to these creek channels, right? You've got these creek channels coming through here. And there's some good looking stuff back here. One, you could even come up here and fish around this point. We probably talked about that on the Google Earth stuff. But then as we move on down here, as we get into here, big, huge flat, right? Big flat point. Or point with a big flat on it, and then massive drops. So I'm thinking this creek channel probably comes more up here and swings really close to that point. And this is going to be a great point to fish. Definitely want to take a look at that. Here's another point over here. Again, when you get over here, you've got a submerged bridge you could take a look at. But notice how the creek channel swings down here and it kind of touches right in this area. So that's going to make that, you know, again, another high percentage area. I'm going to move up here a little bit more. Someone's also marked that there's this road bed here that you can take a look at. So you can see it right here. And then, of course, here on this side, this is kind of the saddle. Saddles are always a great place to find fish. It's basically the area between the land and the island. It kind of gets deeper right in that little section. I don't know if I'd fish right here, but I would definitely come over in here and fish kind of this stuff right in here, and especially right where I have that waypoint, because you've got the creek channel swinging right up against that. And someone obviously even has a point there. So someone's already onto it. Let's go ahead and move on back. You've got a nice little creek channel swing here as well. Plus you've got a road bed. Looks like that may be somewhere around in that area. Definitely take a look at this. These are great little offshore stuff. Setting up on the edges, the corners of these things can be really good. And sometimes you'll find debris and stuff out here, kind of out in the middle, from where it's kind of pushed through that little tunnel, and then it's kind of set it off to the side. So you always want to look at that for sure. All right, let's move on back here. Keep going down this side, see what else we can find. We got some good looking stuff up here. I could have marked 1,000 things on this lake for offshore, so you know, would have had way too many waypoints. I try to just hit the main ones, the high percentage ones I would definitely go look at. But let's talk about a couple here, because we definitely have this one, right? This is the best one. You've got a nice shallow flat top point going back into the spawning bays possibly. So this is just going to be a really good spot to look at. It looks like there may be a road bed in there too. Yeah, there is a road bed. As I zoom in, there's a road bed that comes right here, right across that point. So I really like that. But other things that I like in this area as well, I just couldn't mark everything, would be like right over here where this dock is. Notice how it's really shallow around this dock, and then boom, it just falls straight off. That could be good. This point could be good as well. You've got a nice little shallow flat top up here, and then it breaks off pretty decent. So definitely some good stuff in here. Fishing around the bridge, right? You definitely want to do that. Then as we move up here, you've got other stuff here again that I could have marked. One would be right here. This is a nice little point that comes out. It's about 5 foot, it looks like, and then it tapers off. I like it. I like the way it sets up and everything like that. It's definitely an area I would look at. Now, is that the highest percentage area here, I think, that's on the map? No, I think it's going to be more right here, right off of this point, which is why I marked this. But as you move out here, you've got this nice little point, right? It's coming out 8 foot on top, channel swing hump. You've got a lot going on here that's going to make that probably a community hole, I would imagine, that most people know about that one. So if that one's just getting hammered, slide over. This one's not even going to be marked with simplistic fishing, right? You're only going to know it if you watch this video. Slide over and look at this one right here instead. All right, let's keep moving down and see what else we can find. Another really good river channel swings. I marked this just because this is kind of where the edge of this point comes out and touches. This is going to be pretty deep stuff out in here. If you don't feel comfortable doing that deep, just move up here where this point is. Now you've got your little shallow flat top of a point. You've got a road bed going over it, so hopefully you got some pretty good rock and debris, stuff like that. Definitely a place to look at. Looks like this is called Catfish Point. But as we get out here, I guess off the edge of Catfish Point, again, here's the river, right? The Neosho River moving down here, and it's slamming against this stuff, creating really good ledges and really good channel swings, especially right in there. If you look right in there, that just looks awesome. Love it. All right, let's keep moving down, see what else we can find here. As we move out here, I just marked this just in case, you wanted to go out and fish some really deep type ledge stuff. This is some really good looking ledges that are out here. There might be a little hump that's out here too. If you zoom in, you'll notice that it comes up, to 14 foot here, and then you've got the major ledge here. So, you definitely, hopefully feel comfortable out here. You're only in 14 foot of water. Just know when you drop off to the other side, you're going into 60 something foot of water, but a heck of a good ledge there. Good looking hump that's out there. Then you got all kinds of good stuff up in here. You've got this little spot here where you can tell there's a nice little ledge that comes off here. I don't know what this is. There's a little tank that's out here as well that I marked for you, but if you look here, you can tell you've got 24 foot right there, and then it goes all the way up to 10 foot. So maybe this is like an old pond or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely got some good stuff to fish around. Another good little hump up here. It only comes up to like 2 foot. So some good stuff going on all around that area. Not sure if you can actually get inside of those buoys or not, but you can definitely fish some stuff that's around it for sure. All right, let's keep moving. Show you guys where I was at Catfish Point a minute ago. Wherever that was, I think that was right there, was Catfish Point or something like that. So let's move on down here. Let's stay on the west side, but I'm going to kind of sneak my way out here to the middle of the water, just so we can look at a couple of other things. So you can see over here, this is Echo Bay, if you're wondering where I'm at. And so we're going to come out here to this lighthouse or whatever it is. I guess it's just an island, but there's an island that's out here, a big hump that's out in the middle of the lake, and this looks really good. I would definitely fish around these bad islands. And then I would also come out here and fish the tip of it, right out here, right where that river channel swing is. And then maybe swing over here and check out this little hump here. And maybe even look at this road bed here. There's a lot of good stuff going out here from an offshore perspective. So definitely an area that I would go and spend some time doing some scanning around. Now, as you come over here to the west side, you do have some other stuff that's out here. You got these little humps that are out here. These humps can be magical spots in the summertime. So again, I've marked one there, and then this one looks even juicier because it basically has the creek bed swinging right up against it, causing a little ledge out here as well. So you got a really good drop and then a nice little hump that's out here as well. It actually, it's almost like that point extends all the way out to here. It's kind of funky looking, but you can see where that ledge is. And then we get up here, we've got really good shallow water points, right? This is what, 6 foot? And then you got breaks out on the outsides of them as well. Someone's already marked that in there as well. That's up in Echo Bay, but that looks like a good, really good offshore spot. Also looks like a place that could possibly be one of those community holes too, just because it's so obvious. Let's keep moving down here a little bit more. As you come up here, you've got this is the Terra Miranda Lighthouse. If you get out here, this little point looks pretty decent. 10 foot off the edge of it. Someone's actually marked it out here, tapering point at 15 foot. Just looks like a good little area to find some fish. We're gonna move down. I think we already talked about this hump in the last time, but another one of those main lake humps right there with the nice little ledge on the side of it. As we come over here and stay on the west side, come down here. I like this point. This point's kind of hidden. So if you come out here, I don't know if this is a break wall. Looks like it's a break wall, but the point's kind of hidden underneath that break wall. But this looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty good little point. I would definitely go check out. Also down here, got some interesting stuff going on down here where this little point comes out. It's only like 12 foot right here, and then it just breaks like crazy down to what, 88 foot somewhere down in there. So this little area right in here, you notice the nice little drops in these areas. This just looks like a good place to go locate some bass for sure. You know, I'm always interested. I saw this thing says Submerged Bridge, and I saw the same thing when I was up fishing Table Rock last year, and I thought there was going to be a submerged bridge there, and I went there and there was nothing there. So I didn't mark these submerged bridges on this one because I just don't trust it, but it would be interesting to see if there really is a submerged bridge there. If it was, I'd probably fish around it depending on how deep it is. All right, let's keep moving down, see what else we can find on this west side. I see a spot that I should have marked, but I didn't. So it's going to be this area right in here. I guess I see why. It's 28 foot. I thought it was a lot shallower than that. But there is some interesting stuff going on back in here. You've got whatever the heck this is. You've got a nice kind of little pinch point. It looks like there's docks right in here. So maybe there might not be anything there at all, but just some interesting big breaks, right? 20 foot to 40 foot. 23 foot to 42 foot. So just some interesting stuff going on there. I didn't mark it, but you may want to go look at that. I really like these spots here. Again, this is one of those, it's really deep, it's going shallow, plus it's got that point right on the edge of it. Just great spots to look at. Usually they're transition areas too, so always good spots to find fish. Okay, so let's move down here. Let's get down here to this little swing. Let's do a time check here. About 10 more minutes on this one, so let's keep going. We're making good progress. We've got a nice little point that's right down here as well. This one, yeah, I'm gonna give it 50-50. Don't know about that one, but any main lake point's gonna be a good point. Got a nice hump out here. I didn't realize Grand Lake had so many nice little humps, but this one's out in 13 foot. And those humps, again, summertime fishing, those can be great places to find some big old fish for sure. We're gonna swing around here. Shangri-La. I think I've heard of that place before. All right, let's move down here. We're going to get outside of the edge of that little resort, and we're going to get out here. It says we've got a road bed. Yeah, we've definitely got a road bed. But what we got is we got another hump that's out here at 13 foot. Then it kind of saddles out. Then it gets back up to this point. So right here in this little area, and then that little saddle area right there would definitely be an area to look at. Then over here, we got another hump that's out here. Someone's already put a fish icon on it. Now we're going to swing around and go up this next bend, staying on this west side. Just kind of looking at a few things here. I like this little point here. Look how many big old drops that it has here. Just looks really good. You've also got this road bed that's back here you could check out. Coming right off the top of that point. Then we move up here into this little cove. Didn't see, a ton of stuff here. Obviously, people are going to mark these points. There's probably brush piles or something like that here on these points. I didn't know what this was, if this is an old roadbed, because if it is an old roadbed, you definitely want to take a look at it. It's just kind of weird looking on the screen, but you got a point with a roadbed extending off the edge of it, so this could be an interesting little area to look at. Also over here, if we get back behind these docks, there's one heck of a ledge going on right there in the back behind that dock. So if you could sneak up here, and just come in here and just make a few casts back in here, you're casting some pretty deep water, but you're really casting like right up on a decent little ledge that's right there back in the back. I mean, it's 17 foot back behind that dock. All right, let's keep moving up. That's Landings Marina, so we're going just south of that, I guess you could say. West, I guess would be more like it. But we're in Jayhawk Cove, and again, here, nice little secondary point that's back here. Moving on a little bit further back, I think I marked this just because someone put that there was brush pile there. So I was like, okay, if there's a brush pile there, we're going to go ahead and mark it. So check out that brush pile. And now we're finally kind of getting back into, more confident stuff, because now we got the river channel swing coming back into us, which is going to bring a lot more food and everything else, and going to make things kind of increase. To me, at least, it feels like that. At least that's my confidence level. So we've got a good little secondary point right here. Some main lake points here. Another secondary point here. We got a couple back in here that you could take a look at. All of those, these right here, all three of these. I like this one just because it's a lot flatter and it just kind of tapers off a lot more. I liked it for that reason. Now I really like this point right here, because this is right where the river channel swing's starting to hit, and boom, it's right there. Love that point. We're going to move up. You can see it's super deep, probably bluffy walls and things like that. Look how dark those contours are. But if you look right here, we get up where that little point is. Now all of a sudden, we're not in such deep water. We're in 16 foot of water. So that transition, again, right in that little area, those are good spots Always good spots, always confident that you'll find fish there. Moving up here, we're gonna go into West Bay. We're gonna come out here. This looked interesting, so I figured, hey, we'll check it out. So here we go, we got 24 foot of water, then it goes up to 12 foot, and then it has this little point that's right here. And it has a nice little drop off of it as well. So maybe fishing out in here, and if that doesn't work, you can move over here and check out this road bed. Comes road down here, and kind of comes the nice little point here with a good little drop. Then it makes that little turn. Then as it makes a turn, here's another good point to look at as well with the nice road bed on it too. So love those. Let's move down, see what else we can find. Out here behind Blue Star Island, you've got a nice little point that comes off the island as well. Or you could even call it a hump out here, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice little flat spot up here at 19 foot, and it drops pretty heavy here and tapers off the side here. So I could see this being a good offshore spot along with these spots down here. Just the river channel swinging up against the island. Obviously this side of the island is going to be a high percentage area, but those sides can just be so juicy. All right, let's keep moving. Looks like we're at Snake Island and some other island. I thought I saw Snake Island a minute ago, but right out here, we're just going to point out a couple things here. These little points that come out and just drop off into those river channel swings, those are great points. Another good point here as well. Let's see what we got going on up here. We're going to have to go up here and make this big old turn up here. So here we go. We're going to come in here. And the first thing that we're going to look at, obviously, is this river channel swing, right? And then as we look there, that's going to be a river channel swing really close to a point. Plus you've got some really good road beds that are coming across this point too. So definitely a good place to look at. We're going to come over here. We got a couple good points there. You could look at this one. I really like this one as well. But I'd probably hit that one too. You know, both of them nice flat top points that extend pretty far out and getting fairly close to that creek channel. Then we're going to move up here. Again, we got some good points that are out here. If you zoom out a little bit, it's kind of easier to see them. But here we go. We got some pretty good points with some pretty good drops. One's right there. Another one's right there. We'll come back and talk about that one here in a second. We get up here, we're getting into some flooded timber too. But just some good looking stuff. Some good looking breaks, good looking points and humps. Another good looking point right here. There's some interesting stuff back in here, especially with the timber being back here. I really like that stuff. Now we're going to get way back up in here. And as we go look way up there, we're going to notice all of a sudden you start seeing a whole bunch of little fishing icons. So that just kind of, that popped out at me big time as I came back in here. It was like either a local's been back in here or this is like a really good place to fish on Grand Lake. But either way, I would definitely come back in here and check this out just based on all the activity that I was seeing from the Navionics side. But let's talk about where I would look at probably first. Before I go chasing everybody's little icons. So just based on the contours, as I'm looking up here, I'm going to pay attention to this creek bed, right? And here we go. We got a shallow water point that's coming out and it's touching that creek bed. Money. This could be money out here as well, like right where I put this. I mean, it's 1 foot right here and it's 23 foot out here. So you've got really good break point here and then really good flat that's right behind it. Just sets up well, especially for bass fishing. If we go to the very tip up here, we'll see some more stuff. I must have saw something up there. I don't know why those are up there. It says we've got some humps up there. I think those are those humps that we saw from Google Earth, so we'll probably just have to delete those. I thought those were deeper than what they are now that we see them on the contours. All right, let's keep moving down. Let's get back out of that little cove there, I guess you could say, or following that little creek bed. Coming back out, we got a good little point here to fish around. Got a nice hump here. Let me show you guys where I'm at because it's kind of get lost as I went back up in here. But here's where I'm at Cedar Point. So I'm going to come in here. Indian Hills Marina's right there. Here's that area. I'm fishing these pillars for sure, right? This sets up perfect, especially these pillars closer towards the creek bed. Going to take a look at those without a doubt. Moving out here, if you're just following the creek bed, you want to get a little bit deeper. Got a pretty good little hump that's out here with a nice break that creek channel swings right up against. Those can always be good places. Kind of moving down, following the same type of pattern out here. Another little hump is out here that's really on a creek channel turn. So being right in there would be a good place to look. Blackberry Island. We're gonna get up here. Look at the ledges that this thing creates. So flat over here, right, 8 foot, and then boom, you're down to 70 foot. So anywhere right in here is, you know, definitely gonna be a good starting spot to at least hopefully locate them. I didn't see anything back over here. It's pretty shallow back over here, but let's work our way back down to the main lake. Now there is definitely some stuff up here you can look at that I didn't mark. You know, these little points up here, this little hump. You got another creek bed that's coming through here. Looks like you might have some pretty steep ledges that are out here too you can look at. So there is some stuff up here you can look at. Also back here on the left-hand side of the screen, if you'll notice over here, got a nice shallow point here with a nice little break. Good little pinch point in that area too. So it's not all marked here. Of course, again, couldn't mark them all for you, but I'm trying to mark as much as I can for you. All right, so let's go ahead and let's stop here at Paradise Cove Marine Resort. I'm gonna change this little icon right here where, I don't know why it says fishy, but I'm sure it is fishy. It's offshore 156, there we go, got it. I'm gonna change that thing to that icon so when we come back on the next video, we'll know where to start. Guys, if you have not gone out yet and checked out simplisticfishing.com, you definitely need to. We have all of these waypoints for Grand Lake out there for you where we can put them on an SD card and then you can import them into your graph and pattern the fish however you want. We also send you the digital files, which includes the Google Earth KML file, so you can go out and do your planning, your pre-planning before the tournaments and stuff like that. So definitely go check it out, simplisticfishing.com, and I'll be back on the next one, hopefully to finish up all the offshore stuff for Grand Lake. So until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.